Which recently drafted players have a chance to start last year? Guys drafted in the 3rd round or later. We're going to break it down for you right here, all brought to you by our friends over at Legendary GM. All right, Mike, we decided let's take away the 1st round, the 2nd round. Let's find those guys rounds 3, 4, 5 who have a chance to start. They just got to a great situation immediately. So let's break it down right now, starting with the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Hakeem Butler out of Iowa State. They don't have a ton at the wide receiver position. He is a 6'5" freak, different from what they have on the roster. There's a path to him seeing the field.
Yeah, he's a unique weapon in that offense, and starting in Arizona might not mean you're a number 1 or a number 2. They might be going 4 wide a lot. He could be their 4th wide receiver and technically still be a starter with Cliff Kingsbury there at the helm. And he just, in the red zone, I think is going to be a weapon right off the bat. I'm not sure he's a complete wide receiver just yet, but if you look at the roster, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, and now Andy Isabella, Butler offers something different than what all those guys bring to the table.
Kingsbury might not want to have an actual tight end, but Butler is of tight end size and has those types of ball skills down the field. Now his teammate, David Montgomery, a former teammate at Iowa State, another guy with the path to see the field, the Bears' 3rd round pick. They needed a running back. They needed an early down running back. David Montgomery should see the field immediately in that scheme.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen is not going to be your every down sort of guy. Signed Mike Davis this offseason, but he's not going to stop me from starting David Montgomery. What he brings to the table as an elusive between the tackles ball carrier. I think he might be, when it's all said and done, the most productive running back in this draft class just because of how often he breaks tackles. He just has incredible balance for the position. I think that's going to translate well to the NFL.
99 missed tackles last year as a runner. That was a PFF record, 175 over the last 2 years. I mean, I can't wait to see him behind a pretty good run-blocking offensive line, too, because he was always getting hit in the backfield at Iowa State. The 3rd player we think that has a real chance to make an impact, Deante Johnson, 3rd round pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We pre-draft compared him a little bit to Antonio Brown from a skill set standpoint. And when you look at what the Steelers need to replace an Antonio Brown, Johnson could see the field immediately.
Exactly, and he's 5'10", 185 pounds, but he's not a slot receiver. He played on the outside there at Toledo. That's where he was most productive. One of the best route runners in this entire class, a dynamic weapon with the ball in his hands. So I think he seamlessly, I'm not going to say he's going to fill Antonio Brown's production, but I think he fills that role in the offense.
Nice compliment to Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe what James Washington brings as a downfield threat. Before we get to the final 2 rookies with a chance to start, here's a quick word from our friends over at Legendary GM. The draft is over. Did it go the way you thought it should? Are you questioning your GM's draft selections? Well, not on this video, but overall you are. Introducing Legendary GM, the first ever platform that allows you to draft for any pro football team. With LGM, you can still submit the draft picks your team should have taken. You will only be able to take players who were available for your team in each round. Draft against your GM and draft against your friends to see who knows best. Legendary GM is simple, fun, and will give you bragging rights for years to come. No lineups to set, waiver wires to manage, or free agent pickups to worry about. Draft players your team really needs and get rewarded when your players perform during the season. Start a league with 1 friend or 50. Create your draft history and have proof of your genius. So what are you waiting for? Prove you know better than the pros, the experts, and your friends. Go to LegendaryGM.com now to sign up. That's LegendaryGM.com. Use promo code PFF to invite up to 9 friends for free. That's promo code PFF. All right, the 4th player with a chance to start immediately, it's Tennessee Titans 3rd round pick, Nate Davis out of Charlotte, one of our favorite players to watch in the pre-draft process and fitting a potential need for the Titans.
Yeah, Titans, gutted their offensive line this past offseason. Both guards out the window. Roger Saffold they bring in over from LA. He taken one of those spots. And then Kevin Pamphile was going to take the other spot, the Tampa Bay guard. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I think Nate Davis leapfrogs him on that roster. You just love what we saw from him at the Senior Bowl. Love what he can do in pass protection. Just an ox. His anchor is as good as any guard in this draft class. Has some technique issues that probably need to be cleaned up, especially his stance. I mean, his butt's almost touching the ground there before the snap.
Don't change his stance. It's incredible.
But I love the raw tools that he has at the position.
All right, the last player has a chance to start immediately. It's Jermaine Pratt, the linebacker out of NC State, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. By all reports, the Bengals were all over Devin White or Devin Bush, those top 2 linebackers in the 1st round. The Steelers jump up and steal Devin Bush. They're both off the board, so they didn't address the need at linebacker until the 3rd round, but Pratt has a chance to fill it immediately.
Yeah, he's different athletically than what they've had there in the past, especially compared to Vontaze Burfict. He is very good in a straight line there, Jermaine Pratt is. I think he can play the run at a high level too as well. You saw him blow up blockers pretty routinely there at NC State. Not perfect in coverage, but he's an upgrade from what they've had in the past.
They really struggled in the middle of the field last year. So there you have it. It's 5 rookies who have a chance to start immediately, all brought to you by our friends over at Legendary GM.